What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Club and Country. This is episode number 38, and today we are officially ending Season 2 with St Johnstone and moving into Season 3 at McDermott Park. And of course, we come on the back of our World Cup adventure in Russia 2018 with Scotland. We got to the quarter-finals before being narrowly beat by Brazil by a goal to nil, but in the end, it was Spain who won the World Cup. And we've also been drawn in our European qualifiers group as well. And we got Netherlands, Czech Republic, Denmark, Italy, and Wales as well. So what a tough European qualifier group that is. And if we are to make it to Euro 2020, which hopefully, touch wood, we'll be able to do, we're going to have to come through that group, which is very, very tough indeed. But after a very encouraging first national tournament with the Scots, I do believe we can do it. But it was a really fun adventure in Russia 2018 anyway. And if you did miss those last two episodes, do go back and watch them. I had a lot of fun with Scotland. And again, this Club and Country series for me is a lot more enjoyable than the last two because so much more emphasis is on the country than ever before. But still, the new season has started with St Johnstone. I did say in the last two episodes I was going to hold on to any club footage, if you will, until the new season started and the World Cup was done. So Season 3 does begin. There was no emails to let us know about our budget or objectives or anything like that, so I had to get them manually for you. These are our objectives. In the Cup, we're supposed to reach the round of 32 stage, and in the league as well, finish in mid-table. Now, I do believe both those on-the-pitch objectives are achievable, but I gotta say, the off-the-pitch objectives are really, really bizarre. We've got to finish up with a profit margin in the first transfer window of like £25.5 million, which is absurd because our financial objective is a critical objective too, but our whole squad is worth about £5 million at most. And of course, that's our budget as well. You see the budget there, £5.3 million moving into Season 3. A very small budget, but of course, that is to be expected. So, like, what? Some of these off-the-pitch objectives are just insane. I mean, how am I supposed to do that? I could sell my entire squad and just bring in a load of free agents and I'd still fail that objective. It's just ridiculous. But anyway, you take a look at that sale there. Craig Thompson has left to join Stevenage for £140,000. Totally fine with me. And also we see Jack's first scouting update of the new season, Season 3. We signed one or two players to our academy here as well to take a look at them in our youth squad. And for this season, with £5.3 million being in our budget, you'll see the squad report and also the lineup as well in just a moment's time going into Season 3. I really don't know what to do with £5.3 million. Now, of course, a new striker was my priority. And of course, in the World Cup, we saw one striker do fantastically well for the Scots, and that was the Celtic frontman, Leigh Griffiths. He scored 4 goals for us, all coming in the group stage. He was really, really good, and I felt really comfortable using him as well. So Griffiths is definitely a target. There's a couple others as well. You'll see the shortlist in just a moment's time. But this squad here with St Johnstone, as I said before, the main reason why I'm really going to enjoy this Club and Country save, even more so than the previous two with Racing Santander and Paris FC, is because if we want really, really good players, we're going to have to develop them ourselves from the youth academy. And we do have a player called Ewan McDonald. There's 2 Ewan McDonalds actually, and one is a centre forward that will play striker for us this season alongside Chris Kane, unless we do sign a new striker, and I think he could be the future to lead the line despite being listed as a primary CF. I guess we'll have to wait and see. And also a question for you guys today to start the episode off too. I'm going to leave this straw poll in the description for you, and I want you guys to vote on the new captain for St Johnstone. I did mention it a few episodes ago. Now that Maka is dropping to the bench, or the Rezzies possibly, and Murray's dropped to the bench as well in place of Smith, the new exciting prospect playing DM. Who should be the new captain? Let me know in the comments, but also don't forget to vote. I'll leave a straw poll in the description for you. Tell me who you think should be captain. Patterson, Hamilton, Sutar, Tierney, Rob Hamilton, a Ginger Nut, Logan Reed. I don't know. Let me know by voting in the straw poll, and whoever has the most votes by the time I come to make the next episode, that's who I'll give the captain's armband to. And also some sad news as well to start the episode off as well, because Maka, our player of the year in Season 1, and probably last year too, to be honest, has decided to call it a day come the end of the season. So Stevie boy, we salute ya. Thanks for the first 2 seasons. You helped me settle in here at McDermott Park, and this is going to be your final one in the game. Come the end of the year, Maka is going to retire. How gutting is that? We'll miss you, Stevie boy. We appreciate your service. But anyway, don't forget to vote for the no captain. I will leave the poll in the description for you, and possibly in a comment as well. And also, looking for new players then with £5.3 million. These were the 2 guys I was going in for, Leigh Griffiths Griffiths, the star at the World Cup with 4 goals for Scotland. Also, Tony Watt as well, who I did mention last season. He's a former Celtic striker. Charlton in the game, he's valued at £4 million. Griffiths at £5.5 million. We probably can't afford Griffiths unless we sell 1 or 2 player, because his salary is really, really high. 53 grand a week, which is a lot of money, but he is my main target. Griffiths is the one I really want, but if we can't sign him, we'll settle for Tony Watt. Watt is 3 years younger, but he is 2 ratings lower. So naturally, of course, I far prefer Griffiths, especially after his really good World Cup for us with Scotland, but Tony Watt wouldn't be a bad second choice if we can't get hold of the main man. So we put in valuation bids for both clubs, and as you can see, both clubs said no. Celtic and Charlton said they wanted £9 and £6.5 million for Leigh Griffiths and Tony Watt respectively. So we put in new bids there, as there was a bid for Liam Gordon from Bray Wanderers. Anyone notice that? Bray Wanderers appearing in this save. How cool is that? Putting in a bid for Liam Gordon, and also as well, we put in new bids there for Tony Watt and also Leigh Griffiths. But as you could see, Tony Watt was wanted by Charlton. He's playing for Charlton. Tony Watt was wanted by Brighton for £4.7 million after we put in our second bid of £4.5 million. So we up our bid to £4.8 million. We shall wait and see what Charlton say, and hopefully we will be able to convince him to come to McDermott Park, as Gordon does go to Carlisle grounds. I thought that was so cool there. I love when a club appears in my save that I've got previous with. That was really cool. But anyway, Lille also wanted Tony Watt as well, as Angus MacDonald goes to Galway United on a 1-year loan here. So Tony Watt clearly in high demand right now, which is kind of a surprise because he came off the bench a few times for me in the World Cup with Scotland, but was alright at best. And again, Griffiths is the star really. He's the one I wanted. But Charlton, as you could see, did decide to accept our bid of £4.8 million for Tony Watt. And again, 24 years old, 74 overall. And of course, Griffiths would be the better striker. But the best thing about Watt is that he's cheaper, and also his salary, he wants less than what he's being paid right now. He's on 11 grand a week right now, but he's totally fine with 10 grand a week. So we offer him 10 grand a week, make him a crucial first team player, and we shall wait and see what Tony Watt says. And also, we got ourselves into a pre-season tournament with St Johnstone as well. As per usual, you guys know the rule. I just pick the one with the most prize money and just simulate all 3 of the games. We won the first game against the Norwegian side, Molde, and as you can see, following the game as well, Tony Watt clearly liked what he saw in that game. He was in the stands watching because he decides to accept his contract and does become my first new signing of the season with St Johnstone. It basically cost the entire budget to bring the guy to McDermott Park, but I'm confident he'll do quite well for us this season, either alongside Chris Kane or Ewan McDonald up top. Not sure who he'll play with as his strike partner, but he's got some pretty decent stats, and again, even though he didn't start any games in the World Cup, he came off the bench, looked pretty decent in a couple of games, and he still looks pretty decent. Yes, Griffiths was my main target. I'm always gutted when I have to settle for less, because I always feel like I'm good enough to bring in those stars, but I guess with a series like this, it is a Road to Glory series, sometimes you have to settle for less, and that's just one of those things, and that's how it is. So Tony Watt comes in, and again, for £4.8 million, I'll take it. It's not too bad of a signing, but also, I found this guy on the free agents list as well. Now, of course, free agents are really, really weird in career mode. Sometimes, some years, you get basically no one good at all, but sometimes they'll surprise you. There might be 1 or 2 decent players in there that you can pick up as bargain buys, and Sean McMillan is a goalkeeper, 21 years old, 71 overall, currently a free agent, and I gotta say, he looks like a really decent player for us that can come in on a free transfer and be a pretty decent backup goalkeeper. Now, Logan Reed is still going to be our number 1, John Ruddy is still going to compete for that number 1 shirt too, but this guy can do the same thing as well. So Sean McMillan, we offer him a contract as we drew the second and third games of our group, but do make it through to the semi-finals of the pre-season tournament. So a pre-season bargain buy, and I got quite lucky with this because again, it's kind of rare that you'll find a decent player in a free agents pool, let alone one that comes from the same nationality as the club, which is criteria we need to meet in this series. But yeah, Sean McMillan is going to come in on a free agent, 10 grand a week on a 5-year deal, and again, it's probably the one position we didn't need because we've got Logan Reed, we've got John Ruddy, and even Douglas Mitchell shows great potential too, our third choice shot stopper. But at 71 overall, only 21 years old, valued at £1.6 million, I'm not going to say no. So Sean McMillan comes in to join the 3 good goalkeepers here already, and I'm pretty pleased with that signing on a free transfer, and especially because we have basically no money whatsoever. These really are the only sort of deals we can afford to do, you know, free transfers and bargain buys and valuations. That's pretty much it, at least for the time being. So Sean McMillan comes in, and again, valued at £1.8 million now, and the interesting thing is that he shows no potential potential whatsoever, unlike the other goalkeepers in our club, but still we'll take him, and hopefully he'll be a pretty decent backup goalkeeper for us, and Douglas Mitchell will most likely go out on loan this season. But also, a look at the academy as well for the first time this season, as we have a youth monthly report here on the 1st of August. You can see how the players are currently getting on in our youth team. There are still a couple of really decent players here with some decent potential, but of course the main one is that man Douglas Reed, who I've mentioned so many times now. He's now turned 16, 60 overall, 88 to 94 potential. He doesn't get promoted just yet, but he will do soon, and I'm so hopeful. And the reason I haven't promoted him yet is because I'm scared, and I'll be honest here, it's stupid, I know, but I'm scared because I think he's probably the best chance we'll have in the entire series of having a Scottish player that shows potential to be special. And I don't want to promote him and be really, really sad when I find out he's got the exciting prospect tag instead. But I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens, and he will get promoted soon. Don't worry, he's 16 now. He will get promoted soon, but I'm just worried. I really want a player to have potential to be special, and I'm so badly hoping it's going to be him, and I don't want to jinx it. But Gordon the Giant though did get offered a contract as Hammarby beat us in the semi-finals of the pre-season tournament. And also, how about this as well? After we got knocked out in the semi-finals, the ball came to me and said, "Too bad you didn't make it out of the group stage of the European International Cup. We still have confidence in your abilities to meet this season's expectations." And I was like, bruv, did you even check the progress of our pre-season tournament? We did make it out of the group. We reached the semi-finals, and then we got beat. What are you talking about? Just another bug there to add to the ever-growing collection in career mode, I'm sure. But either way, come on, man. Yes, I did make it out of the group. That's well harsh, man. Seriously. But anyway, Gordon the Giant did accept his contract, so another youth player signs a pro deal with St Johnstone. And as you'll see, his stats here looks pretty decent. And for a 6'6" centre-back, I'm excited to use this guy. Gordon the Giant comes in, and he also shows great potential as well. So another player that shows great potential, nothing better than that, but that's okay with me. So he's got about 80 to 83 potential, I'd probably say. That was his range, I think, 77 to 83. So he'll have about that. Low high work rates, 3-star and 3-star for skills and weak foot. And again, being 6'6" as well, that's how he gets the name, Gordon the Giant, believe it or not. I think he'll be a pretty decent cover defender for us, for Barry and John Suter. But also Liam Craig, who was one of our players of the year last season, one of our top scorers too, is off to Ewood Park for £475,000. It's 100 grand under his valuation, but he's 31 years old now. He's decreasing in stats, and he did have a really good season for us last year. But of course, now that Duncan Smith is going to play DM for us, Murray Davidson's on the bench as well. We've got some youth CMs coming through, I should say, from the academy, including one that's yet to be promoted in Douglas Mitchell. Is it Douglas Mitchell? No, it's not. It's Douglas Reed, I think it is. I should know. I've been mentioning his name about 5,000 times. But Liam Craig can go to Ewood Park. That's totally fine with me, and he does go for 100 grand under his valuation, as another player got loaned out as well. So we also see another scouting update here from Jack as well. You can see some more players get signed to our academy, including Reece Anderson there, I think it was. So yet more youth players coming to join the St Johnstone Academy. And this goalkeeper too, Ewan Graham, looks like he could be pretty decent after 1 month's worth of scouting. So yeah, the academy is still looking pretty decent with St Johnstone, as I alluded to a minute ago there as well. I think that this season, just like last year and the year before that, and the seasons that progressed through this series too, we'll be having much more focus on building up academy players to be really good for us, as opposed to bringing in new signings. We have signed 2 new players with St Johnstone this season, but again, with £5.3 million, we're settling on players that we didn't really want, aka Tony Watt, when we wanted someone better, aka Leigh Griffiths, and we're settling on free agents like Sean McMillan. So still the struggle is real. We are making progress with the St Johnstone team, but again, it's primarily due to the academy players stepping up and performing in the first team. And this season is going to be a really important year for us too, because you'll see our lineup in just a moment's time going into the first game against Middlesbrough away at the Riverside Stadium, which comes in the next episode. You'll see our lineup. I think there's 6 players in the first 11 that are academy graduates. So we continue to breed these young players and bleed them into the first team as well, and hope they'll be good enough for us to lead us to higher finishes in the table. And this season, of course, we've got to finish in mid-table, not just to avoid relegation like we did last year. We're going to have a really important season this year and do very, very well on the pitch if we are to continue making progression at McDermott Park. But that will end today's episode of Club and Country, guys. So a massive thank you for watching. I really hope you have enjoyed it. If you have enjoyed the first episode of season 3, then please do consider leaving a like, as likes are of course very much appreciated, and they really help the channel grow as well. Much love to you all. Have a fantastic weekend, and don't forget to vote for the new St Johnstone captain by clicking on the link in the description, and you'll see who gets awarded the armband in the next episode very soon.